Live from upstate New York, we welcome race fans one and all back to Green Flag TV, where tonight we get set to kick off race number 16 here from Watkins, Glen International. It is the Speed Cup Series once again, back for more Thursday night racing action. We're happy that you joined us here tonight. My name is Little Rempel, and I'll be bringing you all of the coverage here tonight from start to finish of tonight's 45-lap affair. We take a look at how things are going to be lining up here in this one in towards the championship standings, and it is looking a little bit something like this year. You got Chris Darling still sitting well up there in the point standings, and of course Drew Eisman last week at the Brickyard taking his third win on the season at the Indy Road Course, looking to see if he can go for four here tonight. And you take a look at some of the other drivers that are locked in. Martin Plute from Michigan, Ben Mashburn, Gracias, and Cameron Rich when he was subbing in for Eisman down at the Richmond Raceway just a couple of weeks ago. How about Josh McDougall still hanging on to the points lead outside of these championship standings? 38 points back, going to be the likes of Matt Cherry. Anthony Musatti sits on the bubble with Pyrock, having overtaken him for that 15th position. Josh Emerson now sits just 21 points out, and critically, Emerson is here tonight, so we could very well be seeing Josh Emerson punch his ticket in. Mark McFadden, though, sitting only 3 points behind him with Rick Wishon, also looking to see if he can't put his hat into the ring. So that's going to be our championship order as we get set to go racing here tonight. Qualifying very much underway as it stands. We've got 3 minutes left. We've got nobody, however, out on the racetrack at the moment. So with all of that put into mind here, I think at this point what we're going to do, we're going to take ourselves a quick jump back, and we'll be back with your starting grid from the Speed Cup Series. It's going to be 45 laps of racing action around an absolutely incredible Watkins Glen International Raceway. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Watkins Glen International Raceway. We've got 30 seconds left in qualifying. Still have not seen anybody opt to put up some extra times here on the qualifying sheets. So with all of that kind of set in mind, we are going to be ready here in just a little while to take a rundown of how these 16 cars are going to file off from Thunder Valley here in upstate New York. It's been a long time coming, and this is our last in a road course doubleheader before we get set to kick everything off for that final critical regular season race coming on down into Daytona International Speedway just 1 week from now. So qualifying, we'll see the checkered flag fall, and we're going to take a rundown of what your starting grid will take a look like as we get set to go racing from Watkins, Glen International. It is the likes of Drew Eisman for Eisentech Enterprises on pole position. Christopher Darling sits beside him on the front row. Randy McCain going to be down in third with Marty Plute down in fourth. TJ Ullman will be bringing it up in fifth. Sidarian Dye is going to be making his series debut here tonight in race number 16. Starts on row number 3. Ben Mashmer will be on row 4 with Michael Moody for Old Guy Racing. Mark McFadden going to be down for Jawbone Racing in number 9 with Stan Hausman from Maxgrafix Racing in that 10th position. CRR's Dylan Smith will be in 11th with Rick Wishin out of that Mid-South trying to push his way further up towards the main running. Starting this race in 12. 13th going to be with the likes of Josh Emerson, Carlton Charles for Cool Runnings Racing going to be in 14th. Tim Branson and Mike Borkrid will round out your 16-car field here in this one. It's a bigger, much bigger than we had at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. We're hoping there will be more than just 6 cars left on the racetrack by the end of everything here. With this in mind, though, I'll be able to give a big thanks to the guys that helped keep the lights on here for the Speed Cup Series. And this broadcast tonight brought to you, as always, by Beer Street Journal. Beer Street Journal has one of the largest online collections of original content dedicated to covering beer culture, education, and the advancement of the beer industry. With thousands of articles, millions of unique visitors, and exposure in over 200 countries, Beer Street Journal is paving the way to enabling category growth, engaging a broader consumer base, and promoting better tasting beer for years to come. Beer Street Journal, the best in beer. You can find out more about them at beerstreetjournal.com. And by Maxgrafix. Maxgrafix has all of your graphic design needs, from NASCAR to sim racing, logos, banners, posters, t-shirt design, and other commercial uses. Find out more today at facebook.com/Maxgrafix Racing. Continuing on down through this list here in this one, you've got the likes of Twisted Steel Steak Appeal for last but certainly not least. It is a top-of-the-line barbecue rub. While it may say steak on the label, it is perfect as well for pork, seafood, chicken, and everything in between. If you can barbecue it, Twisted Steel is worth the try. You can find out more on barbecueproshop.com and search out Twisted Steel Steak Appeal by Marty Plute. Starting field of 16, getting set to rocket away in this one as we'll be racing here for 16 laps of racing action up and over the S-Sys for the first time here in this one. And we'll be able to get a chit-chat here with one of these drivers as we'll be looking to make our first start here in this deal. And how about we speak to the driver that's going to be starting up here on pole position, but on row number 3. We're going to talk to the driver here of the number 12, and I know you're busy getting set for the race, so we'll make this quick, but you're making your series debut here. How do you think you're going to get on as we get set to go racing here at Watkins Glen?
I was just going to see what we can do today.
Well, fair enough. What do you think you'll have to do to see if you can't keep that car up in the top 5?
Just be consistent, just not overrun the car, just kind of keep the car level.
Well, we'll let you get back to work, and we'll wish you the best of luck in that series debut. Hopefully we'll talk to you again by the end.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
As that driver there of the number 12 car of Sidarius Dye is bringing it up here in that number 12 Toyota Camry. We'll work our way in towards the final couple of corners as Christopher Darling starts on the outside pole, and Drew Eisman will be starting down on the inside pole. We work our way into turn number 8, and we leave it now in the hands of MGR. Drew Eisman trying to go for race win number 4. The pace car is down and into pit road. We're happy that you're joining us here for some more Thursday night racing action. It's an early jump. The green flag's up. We're underway. Drew Eisman still has the race lead as we work our way in towards turn number 7 for the first time tonight. He has already pulled clear by 1.8 seconds. And the driver, the eyes of his eyes, number 77 Mustang, looking to be so far on an amazing charge. He will lead lap number 1 from the Glen. We look a bit further down the field. This the battle for third. Marty Plute under fire by Randy McKinney. As we work our way into turn number 1, how about the 83 Tires Plus machine getting a bit crossed up? As TJ Allman had an effort to try to get around and locked up the front tires into turn number 1, nearly ran over the back of the Home Depot Mustang. The battle still on. For the number 3 spot, we work our way up over the rise and into the bus stop chicane. McKinney had a poke to the inside. Thought we might see an attempt for a pass. Not going to go for it, but Plute way off the circuit. He's going to cut across the chicane. That's going to be a slowdown penalty for sure that he's now going to have to serve. So we're going to see Plute ducking offline here as we exit the carousel and work our way back around. Randy McKinney, I'm sure, will be able to take over the number 3 spot. And I say that, it looks like Plute may have been able to get that all served, so battle will remain in the hands of McKinney and Allman for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Sub bit of position swap going around. Charles dropped down to 16th, whereas Morquit and Branson found themselves aboard to the 15th. Now we see Plute pull off to the left-hand side and going to be dropping back those 2 positions. He'll pull back in after falling down to 5th. But not having too much of a problem, he'll keep himself tucked in line. Now the question is, can Randy McKinney make a look on the likes of TJ Allman? Further down the field, we've got battles going on up and down. In fact, into the SS is Rick Wishon, getting up by Mark McFadden, and here comes Stan Hausman trying to fight his way up through the S's. Round the outside at turn 3, he's going to take that pass high and wide. And the Beer Street Journal Chevy Camaro gonna fire his way up into the top 10. Some great battling so far. Christopher Darling finds himself potentially under a bit of fire here as we continue to hightail it up and around the Watkins Glen International Raceway. The advance. Ever prominent, Darling looking to secure that 2nd position, but he's under some heavy fire from that number 9. McKinney's not going to go anywhere anytime soon, but TJ Allman's done waiting around. He's going to send one down the inside. Going for that 3rd position is TJ Allman, and he'll take it away from Rick McKinney as we work our way in towards turn number 1, and we got trouble for Dylan Smith. Stopped, and he's going to take that tow. That was on the entry turn number 8. Meanwhile, Michael Mooney trying to fend off Days at the moment, and Mooney going to work his way up to the number 7 spot. So with all that set in mind, here is what happened to Dylan Smith. That caused him to go to the back. Whoa, lost the back end coming out of turn 7. And rebounded hard into the guardrail on the right-hand side, and was forced to take that tow as a result. Broke the car almost immediately. Well, here we go. We are back to action, and it's kicking off in this fight for second. You got now 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, all line astern as we work off the final corner. To begin lap number 5, Eisman pulling out a gap of over 4 seconds now. Bit of a wobble from Allman on the exit of turn 1. Sees him falter. And the Tires Plus Camaro having to try to reset. He's got a huge run, though. Coming up on Christopher Darling. We work down the back straightaway. And hard on the binders. Allman going to be able to fight through. Still with a little ways left to go. You still got this battle for 7th as well. And we're still keeping tabs on as Mooney will take it off the racetrack. And a bit further behind, TJ Allman. Going way out wide, and he's going to cede the position to Randy McKinney. In fact, now damage on TJ Allman's car. What in the world has happened to Ullman here? Oh, he has slapped the wall, exiting the carousel. Took too much curve, and now he'll lose out to Marty Plute as well. So a lot of damage on his machine. Look out as Dice locking it up in a turn 8. Nearly running over the back of Rick Wishin as Wishin plowed his way through. And as the personal best time started to come down, you take a look at the fastest lap. Set this last time by a 1:11.954 for Drew Eisenman. Puts that number 77 car on the top of the timing charts. Don't forget, you're still going to have pit stops. They'll be coming on up as well. Indianapolis saw a few drivers go all the way until we were within 10 to go. A lunge from McKinney. Tried to take the inside of Darling, wasn't able to do so. There was definitely an effort there as we work our way through turn number 8. And hightail it down the front straightaway. So Randy McKinney not showing any fear as he charges after Christopher Darling. Bit wide there for that number 11 Camaro. Still trying to keep McKinney at bay. McKinney looking left, looking right, trying to find a way to get some sort of a run up through the S's. Not doing just yet, though. He'll remain tucked in line. Passing on Watkins Glen, such a difficult task, and Ben Mashburn is finding this out as well as he's trying to go up against Ullman. TJ Ullman, though, still maintaining his run in the top 5 quite nicely in this battle for the number 5 spot. And this time, Mashburn looks for the inside again, though, just like we saw. The effort from McKinney on Darling. Not to go for the pass. He'll go for it, though, down to the turn 8. And they're going to make a bit of contact once, then twice. And Ullman will go to pit road. So TJ Ullman making a very late call there to hit pit lane. I reckon looking to try to get that position sorted up there for himself. Will jump up front to the battle for second place. Still stuck between Darling, McKinney, and Plute. The top 4 remaining unchanged in positions from the qualifying order, but these 3, oh boy, are they ever going at it with one another. TJ Ullman will take his number 83 car behind the wall. He will become the first car to officially DNF from this race. Oh, McKinney's got a run. Could he have a look? Down the inside into turn number 7. He's going to try for it, but that instead opens up the door for Marty Plute to attack him from the outside. Plute sweeping through. He'll take up the podium now. He'll cut back to the inside for turn 8. Give credit to Plute. He saw McKinney break early, saw the opportunity, and he kicked the door down. So Martin Plute picks up the final podium position, bumps McKinney down to 4th. Josh Emerson in the background trying to catch up to Mark McFadden. Sits about 3-4 seconds back. All the while, Michael Mooney continues to try to reel in Rick Wishin just up the road. What of Darling and Plute here, because Martin Plute looks like he's trying to turn the wick up to close the gap down about a quarter of a second this last lap through. Extends back out to about 4/10, but Plute is very much still there. Still trying to go on the hunt. trouble. Mike Morkrit way out into turn one. Will rejoin right in front of race leader Drew Eisenman. And now Dylan Smith has binned it big time at the bus stop. So a few drivers having some major issues here. We'll keep tabs on this battle for a second. We will get back to Morkrit and Smith's incident in just a little bit. You think the biggest place you can go for a move would be down the longest straight where the car's going fast and you get all that draft, but unfortunately, at the end of that straight happens to be the bus stop chicane, which makes it so difficult to be able to properly execute an overtake. He's taking all the curbing possible though when they swing it out wide, and that's what Plute's doing. He's trying to keep Brandon McKinney at bay. Wants to make sure he can execute a similar overtake that Plute to get by him for third, and McKinney might be looking to force the issue as he gets close for the fourth spot. Although he is not going to end up going for the move. Here's what happened to Mike Morkrit here. This is coming on down in the turn number one in the Red Bull Camaro. Just locked it up, went in way too deep. We'll get it sorted, keeps it out of the wall. And in fact, there is Morkrit just in front of this battle for second. This is going to get tight. Morkrit going to keep it over on the left-hand side, and Plute trying to go make that McKinney going for the pass. Sent one down the inside of Plute and takes it away. That got dicey, to put it very mildly, and here's going to be the look on how McKinney opted to go for the overtake. Saw an opportunity and went full send down the inside. Had to kind of balance the throttle and just able to lock it up as Dylan Smith goes in deep. This is what happened to Dylan Smith. Speaking of which, this is coming on over into turn 5 at the bus stop. And he's just locked it in, gone too deep, lost the back end, and gone slam hard into the right side wall. And then Carlton Charles having it off down to the final corner. Again, too deep, runs out wide, and he has found the tire barriers. Jumping back up to live pictures, McKinney starting to pull out from Plute. And that little cut across the grass isn't going to help Marty Plute at all. How about Michael Mooney and Rick Wishon? Still locked in their fight for 6th. Although this battle is somewhat stagnant as of late. Mooney has not been able to pull away from Wishon. Wishon hasn't been able to reel him in. They're just trying to figure out who's going to go where. Carlton Charles, meanwhile, hits pit road, unsurprisingly, and the number 27 car having a lot of damage as a result of that excursion. Perhaps more surprisingly, though, Ben Mashburn in as well. So Mashburn taking the early pit stop strategy here, trying to get himself on an extreme undercut. Make up some time to try to keep these guys at bay at the later portion of the race. But if you pit now, you are going to be good to go to the end of this race. So Charles and Mashburn both into pit road for service. It'll be scheduled service for Ben Mashburn. Meanwhile, Christopher Darling, Rick McKinney, and now Martin Plute still run nose to tail, 2nd through 4th. And at the moment, this is the only other battle on the racetrack with Michael Mooney and Rick Wishon now working their way around Morkrit, who pulls to the right, lets this battle for what is now 5th place through. All things considered, it's been a tame race so far from Watkins to Glen International, but certainly more exciting than we had last weekend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and we're looking for it to all kick off once again at the World Center of Racing 1 week from now. We go racing at the Daytona International Speedway for the last race of the regular series season. From there, we will be resetting the top 16 in points. We will face off in a 3-round shootout to see who will make it to the round of 12. That'll be featured at Darlington, Kansas, and Bristol. This is going to be our second to last road course race on the season. We have one more. It'll come in the form of the Charlotte Roval, which will be down as the closing race for the round of 12. And I think Darling might have gotten a slowdown for that one. Here goes McKinney looking for the inside. They're going to be two abreast coming out of the carousel. Darling just able to pull clear, but now it's as tight as ever. McCain trying to force the issue, not able to do it. Can Plute potentially go on the offensive here? He's got the run, the driver to Collegeville, Illinois, and he's going to try to get that drive. Down the front straightaway. Oh, they're almost going to make contact that time by. Coming down in the turn number 1, and Plute holds the right. McKinney on the left. Some smoke down in turn number 1, and McKinney able to hold clear. In fact, you saw some debris flapping around in the background there, but McKinney will fall to 4th. Plute's back up in a 3rd, but that's critical because now Christopher Darling is pulled out about 0.8 of a second. I believe this will be the cause of the smoke and debris that we saw down in turn 1. Josh Emerson going in hot into turn number 1, and he's going to find the barriers for sure with that kind of speed. Oh, heavy, heavy shot. Sends the 73 Chevy Camaro still on the racetrack and trying to limp it around. You see that car is hurt, something bad. You take a look at the camber there. It's the toe, excuse me, completely knocked out of the number 73, and that's why he is fighting so much. Morkford and Charles are both down in the pit road. Allman has officially retired, as has Smith. They've been in the pits for some time now. We're expecting for both of them to retire here as well, and I believe we could very well be seeing Josh Emerson join them, which will just leave 11 cars up on the racetrack with 30 to go. Sidarius Dye's having a decent run in his first outing here. He doesn't look like he's going to be able to contend for a top 5. He's sitting about 7 seconds behind that battle for 5th. But, hey, a 7th place isn't nothing to shrug off about. That's still the top half of the field here today. He's kept that car very, very clean so far throughout the duration of this race. So he's going to be looking to have himself with a solid run. Meanwhile, Mooney and Wishin will continue to scrap it out for that battle for P5. A little bit of a dip into the grass there for both drivers. So some target fixation there from Wishin as he's trying to close on up to Mooney. And Mooney now wide through the bus stop. That allows for Wishin now to get a run. And we could see Rick Wishin put the pressure on and start to go for a move here before too long. Tim Branson is in the pit road. So Branson joins the surplus of drivers in the pits. He will officially go 1 lap down, but is looking to take 4 tires and fuel and believe he'll just be getting back out there on the racetrack. It's been a quiet afternoon so far for Branson. The NOS Energy Drinks number 92 going to get off the jacks. He'll cycle out of pit road down in 12th. Sorry, 11th. Going to be the last running car. Oh, I say that. Carlton Charles become the last running car on the racetrack as Charles looks to get back out to pick up a few extra points. So Charles will rejoin in 14th. A good 5 laps down, but he could still get some extra points here from Morkford and Emerson. Battle for 5th has been closing in over the last little while as well. Rick Wishin has been looking to turn that pressure up and try to get the hammer down, but I think he's losing a lot of time around the carousel. That's where his momentum tends to stall out. Also got Rick McKinney still looking to get around Plute for that final podium position. They now sit 18 seconds behind Drew Eisenman. A lot of hopping over the curb. But these cars, very, very planted so far. Far more planted, I would say, than the Ole Miss Relics been in these series race that we saw over here for the Trailer Park Boys 100 just earlier on in the week, back on Tuesday night. A lot of those cars were just sliding around like the track was ice. That said, though, I think a slightly cooler track today, 103 degrees Fahrenheit compared to 109, might have a little bit something to do with that. But the Ole Miss SRL race was entertaining in its own right. A lot of sliding around, created for a lot of drama. You, of course, had Colby Wells and Brandon Kluge take each other out, coming to the checkered flag at the battle for 5th in that event. Don't think we're going to get anything quite as controversial as that here in the Speed Cup Series race tonight. We remain locked in with these battles, see who's going to look to make that move first. But at the moment, I think everybody's just kind of riding around right now, seeing who's going to be looking to. Whoa, there we go. Darling way off the circuit. Rejoins right in front of Plute. And open up the door for the number 4 to look to the inside. And Darling trying to cut back, but he's going to have that slowdown penalty. So he's going to have to serve that here in the next little while. Just shy of halfway. You know, Darling's not easing up on the pace, but he definitely has one. We saw Plute had one. Well, Darling doesn't seem to be terribly concerned, so he's going to keep running this. Josh Emerson making his way. Oh, well, he wants to make his way back out on the racetrack. I don't think that's a wise move, though. I mean, the toe is still completely beat up on the number 73 car. I'm surprised that car was allowed to re-enter the racetrack. I mean, you see that left front wheel there? That is not, shall we say, ideal toe placement. Well, I guess that's an interesting one. We'll keep check on how all that's going to go down. This has been Mash. We're getting around Mark McFadden. This is down to turn 1. An aggressive lunge down to the opening corner. We'll see the McDonald's camera get up and by the number 22 Mustang. Still have this battle for the number 2 spot. Kicking up. And Darling looks like he wants to take this spot back. Could see that 11 car get a bit more aggressive here. Plute looking to defend. They're catch up the cars at Charles, though. Once again, lap traffic caught at the bad point. They'll all file to the inside. That's going to keep Plute safe from now. Here comes Darling, though, looking to attack, and it's a sneak ambush down the inside of the final corner. Darling kicks the back end out, and that breaks the momentum. Plute hangs on for second. And Rick McKinney thought he might look to capitalize. Opted against it. This battle for second, though, is becoming something else entirely, as these guys are not showing any signs of slowing up anytime soon. A bit of a jump over the curve there for Plute as Darling tries to come back at him for the number 2 spot. Oh, and another jump over the grass there. Is that enough for a slowdown from Darling is the big question. Doesn't look like it. He's still pushing hard, trying to catch Plute. He's got the drive out of the carousel. Looks to make this pass the long way around through turn number 7. Trying to kick the back end out. He's going to have to check up as a result of stepping that back end out. And that's going to keep Marty Plute again secure in that second place. And McKinney looking to potentially make a move. We'll really quickly jump back, show you what happened to Stan Hausman and Ben Mashburn. This was a pass for the 8th spot. And then a lap later, this was him getting it right back as Mashburn had a slowdown penalty it looked like that he had to serve. Trouble for Dines, meanwhile, into the bus stop chicane. Or exiting the bus stop chicane? Whoop, yep, there it is. Lost the back end of the exit into the carousel and spins it around. He'll fall back to 9th. We're past halfway. We'll be having 21 laps to go at the line. And again, this fight for second going nowhere. But Mashburn closing back in on Stan Hausman, and again, Hausman pulls to the right, and he is going to slow it right down and give that one up to Ben Mashburn, who hightails the way down in towards the bus stop chicane. And the battle for 5th and 6th still strong as well. Mooney and Wishing have not exchanged hands, but again, neither driver has been able to break away from one another. It's what's making this a really compelling fight that we got in our hands here. Up and down all throughout this field. And now Dye is trying to close back in on Mark McFadden after falling to 9th with his spin in the carousel on his series debut. McFadden looking to maintain his run for 9th. And all the while, you still got the battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. We're definitely at the point now where you can pit and make it to the end. So I think a lot of drivers looking to run it out dry, but I think at this point, this is the first real viable opportunity where you can consider going for an undercut strategy. Pit early, get out on fresh tires, try to fend them off in the long run. And Rick Wishon going to take that strategy to see if he can't get the leg up on Michael Mooney. So he will work his way into pit road. First scheduled pit stop past the halfway point. Stan Hausman goes in with him. We'll see what Plute, Darling, and McKinney will do. McKinney's dropping back, though, so if I'm Rick McKinney, or Brandon McKinney, I am genuinely thinking about going for the undercut strategy here. Well, he's not going to be able to because Plute and Darling are all with him. The entire battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. They're in, and oh boy, McKinney in with a huge head of steam. And he will have to slow up. I'm not sure if he got a speeding penalty or what for that pit entry. So he's going to come out first, expecting 4 tires and fuel for everybody here in this one. Stanhauser working his way out of pit road. McKinney is in. There you see left sides going on the car. Expecting right sides now. There's Plute, Darling, and McKinney. 4 tires and fuel for everybody in this one. And Darling gonna jump Plute on the exit. So Christopher Darling overtakes him in pit road, and Darling is up to P2. And Ben Mashburn has binned it hard into the wall in the final corner. And trying to get that car fired again. He is, as it stands though, completely stranded over in turn 8. He will be forced to take the tow. And this is how it happened. Loops the back end, slams into the barrier on the left side, fires back to the right side, and blew the motor on the car. It's got all the hallmarks of just overcooking it and slamming into the guardrail. Sidarius now trying to make a run on McFadden here. As we grow closer to the pit stop window, there's Dyes looking for the inside. He'll get around McFadden, put Dyes into on track, P5. And right behind him now, we're going to see that number 22 car working the pit road. Drew Eisman, though, on old tires, still putting down the hammer. And as he sets down the new fastest lap of the race, we're going to take a rundown top to bottom of your field here in this one, and we will show you how everything lines up as we're still in the midst of our one and only pit stop cycle. Drew Eisman just set the fast lap with a 111.86. Michael Mooney has the second position. He is still yet to pit, though. We're about to see him in a fierce fight with Christopher Darling to get around for the on-track P2. Marty Plute fighting Mooney for that net podium position. Valdegas Darius Dyes at the moment running in 5th place. He's expected to cycle out into about 8th spot by the time the pit stop window cycles through. Rick Wish will pick up that number 5 spot. He was in a battle with the likes of Michael Mooney, but Mooney, as it stands, has not yet pitted. He is still running way up in front on the same strategy that Eisman is. McKinney got a speeding penalty on pit road, was forced to hold for 40 seconds. He finds himself minor now back in 7th. That'll cycle through to likely be around 6th. Mark McFadden in that number 22 car just fell to Ben Mashburn a little while ago. You got Tim Branson running in the number 9 spot. Further down the field, Stanhauser rounds out the top 10, currently 2 laps down. Josh Emerson is down in 11th with Ben Mashburn out of this race. Emerson and Carlton Charles are both out here just trying to put down some extra laps and see if they can't get some points with drivers being knocked out from attrition. Mike Morkford, TJ Ullman, and Dylan Smith remain the final drivers up here on the lead lap. Christopher Darling makes the move on Michael Mooney for that 2nd spot, puts Mooney down to 3rd. We're expecting Marty Plute to soon join him for that 4th position. That was your midway race break here in this one. As we continue to observe this battle here for that 2nd, 3rd, or 4th position, they're all going to file through without any fuss. And Plute's right back to the podium. Drew Eisman again setting the timing chart to light, just put down another fast lap, 111.84. I want to once again thank all the folks that helped keep the lights on here for the Speed Cup Series, starting off with Beer Street Journal. Beer Street Journal has one of the largest online collections of original content dedicated to covering beer culture, education, and the advancement of the beer industry. With thousands of articles, millions of unique visitors, and exposure in over 200 countries. you are going to be able to take a look, as Beer Street Journal is paving the way to enabling category growth, engaging a broader consumer base, and promoting better tasting beer for years to come. Beer Street Journal, it is the best in beer. You can find out more from them at beerstreetjournal.com. And by Maxgrafix. Maxgrafix is all of your graphic design needs, from NASCAR to sim racing, logos, banners, posters, t-shirt design, and other commercial uses. Find out more today at facebook.com/Maxgrafix Design. And last but certainly not least, by Twisted Steel Steak Appeal. It is a top-of-the-line barbecue rub, and while it may say steak on the label, it is perfect as well for pork, seafood, chicken, and everything in between. If you can barbecue it, Twisted Steel Steak Appeal is worth the try. You can find more on barbecueproshop.com and searching up Twisted Steel Steak Appeal by Marty Plute. Michael Mooney will hit pit road and leave pit road. Exits down in 6th. 10 seconds back from Rick Wishon, a staunch difference compared to how close Wishon was at the back of Michael Mooney. I think that really shows just how much time Wishon was losing, being stuck behind that number 88. We are once again still a green flag racing here at Watkins Glen International. The battles are starting to all come to a close. Christopher Jarley and Marty Plute will continue their run in that battle for second. We're going to take a quick jump back, but you won't miss a moment. You're watching the Speed Cup Series live on Green Flag TV as Eisman hits pit road. Welcome back to Green Flag TV. On board with Marty Plute out of Collinsville, Illinois. Still chasing after Christopher Darling, has not been able to make the move. Drew Eisman, while we were under that pit stop run, did come down on pit road. Took fuel only in the box for the number 77. So Eisman out by now 38 seconds. And the gap is not looking to come down anytime soon. Plute chasing after Darling. All three of the series sponsors now in shot. Hausman looking to keep this one to the left side as the battle for second fires through into the bus stop chicane, and Plute takes too much curb on the entry. That's going to cost him big time. He loses a good half a second right there on the exit. Trouble for Drew Eisman. Eisman's bended at turn one, but he's not found the wall. He's going to keep that thing on the racetrack. So a good job saving that car there for Drew Eisman as the battle for second rages on. Here's how it happened for Eisman on a rare mistake coming on down into turn number one. Went in too deep, locked the rears. High speed spin down over into that opening corner, and I'm sure he was sweating bullets right there, trying to make sure he was in a secure position. Darling and Plute, meanwhile, continuing broad in this fierce side-by-side battle, or nose-tail battle really right now, for second and third with 11 to go. Only 6 cars remain now. So I mean, only 4 cars remain on the lead lap. Wisham being the last of them. Making this battle the one to watch as Darling continues to try to keep Marty Plute at bay. It has not been easy, and Darling, I can guarantee you, is sweating something fierce right now in his MGR number 11 Camaro. And he has 10 more laps to do so over almost 25 miles. That is a tall order to keep a driver like Plute, who was really pressuring Eisman for the win at Indy before he made his mistake in the last couple of laps. Gap is closing in. It's down to a 10th and a half. Thought about making that dive into the chicane, but it's just not feasible in big, bulky cars like these. If we were in GT races or even open wheelers, I'd say maybe so, but not when you're in 650 horsepower stock cars like these. Well, it's nice to see that this race has a lot of action still in it. If it's not the chaotic kind, it was a very chaotic race just 1 week ago for the Beer League with their season opener at Orland Park. Nothing but calamity. Austin Edstrom and I, though, we had a hell of a time calling that race, and it was something else entirely. We're looking forward to having them back on Wednesday night. And some Plutes step the back end down. That's going to cause him to drop back a couple of tenths as they start to reel in Tim Branson. There's a lot coming on up here on Green Flag TV, and if road course racing is still your thing, well, be sure to check in on Monday late afternoon, I guess you could say, as we'll be having ourselves with the Pro Concepts Road Challenge Series GT4 and LMP3 racers at 7:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for a 1-hour race. They have their season opener down at Road America over in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, right before the Real Earth Films 250 at the Autoco Speedway for the HTRL Element Racing Designs Cup Series. Plute, you saw that time by, got to the back bumper of Darden, looking to use the chrome horn. If he can get to him this time into turn 7, he could see that move being made. He's getting more and more aggressive. He's going to look to the inside for 8. He's going to try for it, but Darling slams it across the nose. Looking this time to make the lunge down to turn 1. Finally makes the poke, makes the dive side by side through the opening corner, but again, Darling able to pull clear from the high side. I'll give Darling credit. This defensive game has been on point tonight. But you can really tell how much they are losing time back to cars behind. Not like it matters when you got 36 seconds between the car in front and another 32 to the car behind. It's been a week of road races. We've had this is our second race at the Glen this week. We saw the Ole Miss Relic Xfinity Series run here early, and we mentioned that earlier towards the top of the show as well. We will be having the Milwaukee Mile returning for the Ole Miss Relic Xfinity Series next Tuesday for race number 7. But if you want ovals a little bit sooner than that, though, but you still want all of the excitement, we'll swing on up to the TNGG IL Truck Series racing this Saturday night at 7:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They're racing for the Paperclip 210 over at the Martinsville Speedway. And I'll be having Nicole joining me for the first time on Green Flag TV into the broadcast booth. New to the team, just took her on over in the last couple days or so. So looking forward to being able to work with her. And we'll be bringing you what should be an exciting, if not a shockingly clean Martinsville race. They've been having some good runs over there so far. They only had 12 yellows in their last race there. Way back in May. So we're hoping it'll be the same here for this race in August. And once again, Speed Cup Series will go back to oval racing this coming Thursday as well. When we will see them swing back down to Daytona International Speedway, where it all began to close out the regular series season with a good old super speedway race to lock in the top 16 for the playoffs. Plute swinging way out wide, trying to get something to chase after Darling with. Whoa, Plute into the grass that time by, and just barely keeps it away from spinning, but that's going to cost him a good second or so up to Christopher Darling as he got all sorts of out of shape, leaving the Esses there. Further down the field, Tim Branson now being put under fire by Stan Hausman. The battle for 9th is on. As this grouping here for 9th and 10th starts to close up. The driver out of Atlanta, Georgia, doing a good job on trying to tuck into the back end of the 92 of Branson here, follow his line, figure out where's the weak points. Not quite able to mount a charge just yet. Marty Plute's had some more issues. Oh boy, this was the initial incident that we saw him have just a little while ago. You saw how much that back end kicked out when he got up and over the curb. And then this was, oh man, that was, again, it was wild, to put it mildly. Whoa, and wild again for Hausman. Off the road, rejoins in the midst of the chicane. Throws that battle for P9 away. Once again, we've got your fight for second, but Plute driving angry right now. He is trying to do everything to get to that car in front of him. He just scraped the safety barrier that time, coming around through the final corner. So Plute visibly frustrated, I think, with how this race has gone down for him. It has not been an ideal week for him at all. And compared to how close he was to victory down at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway last week. And this time by, hard on the brakes. Closes the gap into about 1.1. Just got to be consistent now so we can really try to reel Darling in these last 3 laps. Whoa! Oh, okay then. Well, I was about to say trouble for Emerson. I think that's a bit of an understatement, though, as Emerson full sent the number 73 car down into turn 7 there. What on earth has prompted this? Oh, that is all the hallmarks of just being angry. I think I think the tires finally bit him there with how much that car been struggling with that broken toe ever since he came back onto the racetrack. He made one mistake. You heard him downshift. He tried to correct it, but when he realized how much it would take to correct it, he decided, screw it. Sent that car into the wall. Well, go big or go home, I guess. And it's not the only battle we got on the racetrack anymore for that second position, as Mark McFadden has now lost out to that number 12 car, just tucked in behind. Sedaria is still on his first race of the season, trying to go for a 7th place. One down for he started, but hey, it's better than where he could have been, way down to the field like some of these other guys are. Swings that one around the outside of turn number 7. What an overtake there for McFadden, who will cut to the inside, but he won't be able to hang on as Sidarius takes that one away through turn 8, or does he? We still got the fight going. Eisman's taking the white flag just in front of these guys here. Sidarius to the inside. He will pick off McFadden this time by through turn 1. And now Christopher Darling under fire. Plute's gotten back to him into turn 7 once again. Plute trying for the outside. Darling holds it, though, on the left side of the racetrack, and he'll keep the momentum going through 8. The battle raging on. Drew Eisenman, meanwhile, will come through the final couple of corners. For Drew Eisenman, it has been nothing short of domination today. Eisenman rounds his way through turn number 8. And Eisenman takes race win number 4 on the season. Tim Branson and Hausman in the battle of their own will focus first up on Darling and Plute. Still nose to tail through the bus stop chicane now. Does Plute have what it takes? Will he use the chrome horn here, coming around through the carousel? Darling swings it out wide, opens up the door. Plute sticks his foot in like a battering ram, tries to shove it open. Darling keeps the momentum going over the high side, clips the grass as he exits turn 6. Back down for 7, final chance for Plute. He's got to really go for the Hail Mary into turn 8 if he's going to go for anything here. Going for broke, we work our way through. There's Plute to the inside, he locks up, and he's going to throw it away as he spins it off the final corner, and Darling will take home the 2nd place at Watkins Glen International, while Plute will have to relegate himself back down for 3rd. All the while, Stan Hausman close in. He's going to step the back end out, though, coming through 7. He'll throw away that fight for 9th with himself and Branson. What a race, though, in the closing laps, and Drew Eisman, to seal the deal, comes home and puts in the fastest lap of the race on the final one as well, a 1:11.53, and he will now burn it down in Thunder Valley. Eisman continues to stretch his legs as we work our way towards the playoffs with race win number 4 on the season. We will be able to take a look at your official post-race results here from the from our race here tonight at Watkins Glen International Speedway. Again, what a race it was for us here in this one, where we saw Drew Eisman take his 4th race win. Christopher Darling brings it up in second with Marty Plute back in third to wrap up the podium. They were the only drivers that finished this race on the lead lap. That gap between Darling and Plute does not give credit to just how close that battle was all the way down to the final corner. Rick Witcher will take it in 4th, Randy McKinney in 5th, Michael Mooney was in 6th, Zadarius Dye is going to be in down in 7th, Mark McFadden going to be in 8th, Tim Branson was in 9th, and Stan Hauser to round out the top 10. Carlton Charles finishes way down in the 11th spot. Josh Emerson was in 12th. Ben Mashburn, the first driver to retire from this race, down in 13th, with Mike Borkert, TJ Ullman, and Dylan Smith join him some ways down in the running order. So that was your race here tonight. And what a race it was. Just non-stop action from start to finish. Just how we like to see for the Speed Cup Series. We're back fully to form. We'll be able to talk to some of the racers here at the end of the night, and we will, of course, kick things off with race winner Drew Eisman, who is going to come home taking race win number 4 on the season. Absolutely legendary stuff tonight. And, well, Drew, you've locked out the road course sweep here in this one, and I think this is only good things to come then as we get to set ourselves up here for the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, happy with my pace for sure. Honest, I hadn't normally, especially on road courses, I put in quite a bit of practice before actual like the session launches. Didn't do that at all today, but did or this week or in any point before this race. Did a few warm up races though. Did some league races, some officials on roads and stuff. So felt really sharp. But so practice, it took me a while, man. I mean, it took me until like the last 20 minutes to really kind of find what I needed to do. I thought that Martin would be there with me, and he just didn't quite get the qualifying down, and I think that kind of put him a little bit further back, and then was racing those guys and was able to just kind of sneak away. Yeah, pretty happy.
Well, you take home race win number 4, and this one in far more convincing fashion than he did 1 week ago. What was it like being able to just kind of cruise away and go for a Sunday drive as opposed to constantly having to check your mirrors for another car?
I mean, I was still pushing though. I let my mind wander for a split second, and I almost crashed going into one because I shifted down into first gear on accident. I don't know if you saw that or not, but I mean, it was just a dumb mistake. And then after that, it just went back to maximum pushing. I think, whenever you do ease off a little bit, you can do those kind of dumb mistakes. And I did one of them, and it cost me, a 0x race. So went right back into it and was just pushing hard. I think that, and then, you have your F1 open. It's nice to not have any pressure, which I definitely did at Indy, where I was watching that relative more than I was kind of doing what I needed to do. But yeah, I mean, I think with these road courses, right, you got to find what you need to do, and it doesn't kind of matter what everybody else is doing. You got to make sure that you're hitting your marks as precisely as possible, and you keep pushing, because then you'll stay focused and you won't make dumb mistakes.
So looking forward then into the round of 16 in particular, because Daytona, as we know, it can be a bit of a crapshoot at times, but you're already more than locked into the first round of the playoffs here. Darlington, Kansas, and Bristol going to be the first 3. Which one of those tracks do you think might be one of the places where we could watch out for you to see if you can lock your way into the round of 12?
I really liked my pace at Bristol, or at Darlington rather, earlier in the year. I felt like on short run pace, I was really quick. Jason Gracias had me on the long run stuff, and I mean, that was my first race in a league with this car, and I still had really good pace. Kansas, I've never loved Kansas. It's always been my least favorite 1.5. Bristol is so hit and miss. Sometimes it's awful, and I was in a really awesome Gen 4 league, Erska, earlier this year. And I mean, my best run outside of restrictor plate tracks was at Bristol, which I didn't expect at all, especially in a Gen 4. So honestly, who knows? I'm kind of glad that that's the first round because I think that's my worst round. And I like the position that I put myself in with how I've run thus far. Feel decent to not great about some of them. But just trying to get through that first round, and I feel pretty confident after that.
Well, we'll wish the best of luck then in the round of 16. And, of course, next week we return down to Florida to the World Center of Racing. And for now, though, congratulations on win number 4. We'll see if we can go for 5 at the plate track.
All right. Thanks, Nolan. Have a great night.
As your eyes would join us up here from Victory Lane, we'll move on down to the number 2 driver that finishes this one off. It is Christopher Darling, who, unlike Drew Eisman, had a much more eventful race there in the closing stages and throughout the entirety of this race as well. Christopher, it's a second place for you, and while the results say it was a 13-second gap back to Plute, you weren't able to breathe throughout pretty much every single lap of this one tonight.
No, not at all. It was a race pretty much the whole entire time between me, Martin, and Randy was in there. Yeah, he kept my bumper full though after the pit stops pretty much the entire race. So that was really crazy. Had a ton of fun racing him. Raced clean, raced hard. So yeah, that was exciting.
It was a fun race for you, and obviously a much better race this time around at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. A lot of people say some of the road courses tend to mesh together. I think this one tonight is proof that it could be no further from the truth. What do you think it was about this track, though, that allowed you to be so much better on performance than at the Brickyard?
I could race. I could race this track with my eyes closed. I've just ran it so many times. I mean, it's been in every NASCAR game my entire life. So yeah, I don't know. It's my favorite road course. I don't always do well at the road courses, but if I was gonna do well at one, this is definitely one of them.
We look forward now to the Daytona International Speedway. You already find yourself locked in with 3 wins. Do you reckon you can go for 4th, tied up with Eisenman as we close out the regular series season?
Maybe. I mean, I definitely like to do that. I don't know. Daytona's such a wild card though, and there's so many guys right now that need a win to get in or just need the points. It's probably going to be pretty tough to do anything there. So I don't know. It might be survival for the first half and then go for broke. I got nothing to lose, so I might just be, checkers or wreckers. Who knows?
Well, wish you the best of luck when we go racing then once again at Daytona International Speedway. For now, though, congratulations on the hard-earned 2nd place. We'll wish you the best of luck 1 week from now.
Thanks, Nolan.
As the driver for MGR out of Harpersville, New York, as we continue to work our way down to the podium. It's the driver that went for the Hail Mary, and it did not go his way tonight. Marty Plute joins from Collinsville, Illinois, and, it was an effort that just sent into the final corner. It just was too little, too late.
Yeah, that was the most fun I've had in a race in a while. That was, I don't know if I've been laughing so hard while racing in a minute, but that was pretty good with Chris. The last corner just sent it, and when I started locking up, I made sure I didn't hit him. So that's really all I was trying to do there.
Well, you come home in that 3rd place regardless. You have more than enough time to get yourself sorted before Rick Wishing came around the racetrack. And, taking that 3rd position, it was not an easy battle that you and Chris had all night long. What was it like having to race every single lap against the car that you just couldn't seem to get around?
It was good. It made it go by pretty quick, Like last week, I was close to Drew, but I knew I was never going to really get to him too much. Tonight, we couldn't separate each other. So it went by quick, and no, it was just fun. It gives you something to push. So that I think that helps a lot. Get you markers and you're consistently pushing the entire time, which is I think is better than trying to go back and forth.
Pit strategy obviously came up a little while throughout the middle portion of that race, and there was some discussion about whether you would be going for the undercut or not. Was that ever a thought to try to see if you could kind of get underneath Darling and get him on fresh tires?
Yeah. I I thought if he was going to pass me, then I would hop down pit road. It turns out that we all probably made the wrong call. Drew didn't pit the entire time and was just fine. So that was probably the right call. But all of us coming in at the same time made for hopefully a good broadcast. Kept us all together.
Oh, it certainly made for a good entertainment up here on the broadcast booth, and well, it was a third place regardless, and who knows, maybe it'll be two, or even just one better when we go racing at Daytona 1 week from now. Wish you the best of luck then for our final regular season's race.
Thanks. We'll see you next week.
That's Marty Plute joining us up from third place on the podium, and that is going to do it for us here tonight. And again, what a race it was for us here in this one, and a race that, as always, could not have hoped that it could have gone any better than it was here in this one. We will get things set then for 1 week from now when we close out the regular series season to race things out at Daytona International Speedway. Be sure to tune in on Saturday night for race number 19, the Paperclip 210 for the TNGG IL Truck Series 210. Down at Martinsville Speedway, where myself and Nicole will be bringing you all the action for the world's fastest paperclip. The HTRL MF Racing Designs Cup Series will return for the Real Earth Films 250 at Auto Club Speedway, following the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series with their season opener down in Wisconsin at Road America. Then, of course, you got the OMSR Xfinity Series returning at the Milwaukee Mile. And as always, Austin Edstrom and I will bring you the Beer League for race number 2 coming on over next Wednesday. That and more all going to be coming on up live on Greenfly TV in the next week or so. We'll see you all next time. For now, I'm Abdul Rampel. You've been watching the Speed Cup Series.